Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday the 19th of August. I'm back with another quick update. It's great to be back with y'all again this weekend instead of waiting 2 or 3 weeks to do another video. But I've got a little bit of haul and I want to show you my most recent frame piece and tell you about a little sewing plan. So a lot of y'all went on this journey. Those that have been watching me for several months have went on a journey with me with my grandson, and when I lost him, I was working on a Catherine Thomas, I think it was 1868 Redwork sampler by GGR, and when I lost him, I changed the information from the actual sampler stitcher, because it was a reproduction sampler, and decided to put Canaan's name in it, and I held off to get it framed. And it is now framed. I want to show it to you really quick. So it has my grandson's name here and his dates here. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We went with a really simple frame. This was the first piece I used the pin stitch in. So let me give you a little close up again just to kind of show you the look. I used one variegated DMC thread. I think it was 115. I'm pretty sure it was 115. And I think it just turned out wonderfully. When they matted it, there's no trailing threads. And if the frame itself is like a brassy gold, and it was made to look aged with that, look kind of grungy with the black. And so this piece is actually backed with a piece of black matting, not matting, is that right? Yeah, matting, mat board behind my piece, just to give it a little darker shade. And that was just my choice because of the darkness of the frame. Most every one of my stitch pieces now are here in the walls around me. Some of them still haven't been hung, but this one I believe I'm going to put downstairs. I'm not sure if I'll do it in the living room or I'm going to do it in our bedroom, just for reasons. Just having a hard time deciding which room to put it in. But just know, one more time, I did drop another piece off last weekend before last when I picked this one up, or was it last weekend? I don't remember. My memory's about this long. But I hope to pick that one up maybe next weekend. Speaking of next weekend, guess who is going on vacation after all? Guess who had actually canceled their vacation leave 2 weeks ago and is having to put in for it again? And that is okay. I have no problem filling that paper out again. I had a work friend who stepped up, and through all this with Canaan, she's been right by my side. And I have to say, being someone that's in charge, it's kind of a lonely position to be in for the most part, where you can't be friends and manage people. And this is just a co-worker, meaning she holds the same position I do in another office. And she stepped up and stepped in and is working extra to loan an extra worker to me so that I can be off, and I'm just extremely thankful. I really don't know how to repay her, but I'll figure something out, and I'll probably thank her profusely for weeks to come, because I'm extremely excited and it is much needed. We will be leaving on my husband's birthday, and so it'll be just the two of us, and it has been a long time since we do go on weekend trips, but to take a week and go on vacation together. He's going out the garage door. He does it every time I do a video. Okay, there will be another one, because I guarantee you he went out to take out the trash or something, and he's going to come right back through and close it again. I apologize for that man. What else? I have continued to work on my time and season piece. I have finished page 7. I am well into page 8. I am on track for finishing my goal, so let me show you. I did move the hoop, and I'm not going to move it back right now, but I did move the hoop last night before I went to bed. Let me hold it up with the hoop. How about that? Look, I'm just in the corner. What did I tell you? He's taking out the trash. This girl ain't going to complain about that. This girl doesn't want to take out the trash. Okay. So, what I've done is, since last time, I filled in all the words. I have done more on this pomegranate border, which I'm loving those colors in that pomegranate border. I think this is 470 green and 919 is not a red, it's like a dark orangey red. I really like it. I've done the birds and the fence that they're perched on. Went along with more of the vine. Completed the lowercase alphabet and to the end and beginning the numbers 1 through 9. So basically all I have left is the remainder of the verse and the pomegranate border, and to bring the border around. Right. I love it. I love it. This will probably, when I pick up my next piece, this will be the next one I frame. I'm very excited. So I've been monogamously stitching. I guess I can say that I've been cheating a little bit because I've been buying. So thanks to Michelle Bendy Stitchy for telling me all about the Kathy Barrick sale that she was, what do you call it, retiring some of her charts. And these are the ones that I chose. This is The Village. Doesn't this look like something that I would want? Look at all the little birds. This is Crowned Heart. I've seen this one before and it didn't catch my eye. I've seen it many times before. What got me is I finally sat down and read the verse. So let me say, I pray that risen from the dead I may in glory stand, a crown perhaps upon my head, a needle in my hand. I've never learned to sing or play, so let no heart be mine. From birth into my dying day, plain sewing's been my line. Plain sewing suits me fine. So I really like that. And then my third one is Noah's Ark from the series Sunday Samplings. And so it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Now this was a small piece. And it is actually, what is the stitch? 82 by 61. So some of you may remember last week or the week before I was asking about silk gauze and if anyone knew of where I could locate silk gauze, and I got lots of great suggestions. Y'all jumped right to answering that question, and I thank you all. But one person who jumped in was Arlene, and guess what I got in the mail this week? She put it in a little baggie to keep it clean. Look at that. She sent a piece of fabric and a card for 50 cents to me. So this piece, I will sew it into a piece of muslin and then cut the muslin away from the gauze. And this is what I will do this piece on. What do you think? I think it'll be great. This is more than enough to do what needs to, work what needs to be done. It is a full coverage. So just know that silk gauze, especially if you like to frame like I do, and I'm running out of wall space, you can do a piece that may be, what, 5 by 7 if it was stitched. Let me see. It'll actually tell us. 5 3/4 by 4 1/4 on 28 count. But but you can stitch it on gauze for a much smaller piece. So just know that that's an option. And don't be intimidated by stitching on gauze. Yes, it's smaller. A lot of us would need magnification. Some of us are blessed not to need it. But you're going to use a lot less floss, a lot smaller frame, and it'll go a lot faster because you're only doing, well, I guess it's up to your choice, but typically when I stitch, not typically, when I stitch on silk gauze, I only stitch one leg of the cross. So keep that in mind. Give it a go. You may not like it, and that's perfectly fine, but you may just love it and fall into another rabbit hole. So, and going by that, Arlene has just released some new designs, and she has them listed in her Etsy store, which is Works by ABC. And if you don't know Arlene, you need to go over to her Flosstube channel, Arlene Cohen. Like I said, she has an Etsy shop. The new designs, she shows them there, and if you follow her on Instagram, you'll see that she's been working on a canvas piece over the past few weeks that she's finally finished, and maybe you'll be inspired there too. She's got some great designs. The other thing that I got in the mail this week was a Rosewood Manor, and it's Dreaming of Daisies. Love the colors. It's stitched on 36 count parchment by Weeks. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like the Weeks fabric, but I do. I happen to love them, but I think a lot of it's to do with that I stitch in hand. So, you know what? I stitch whatever pleases me on that specific project. This one I will stitch in hand. The current one I'm stitching on a hoop. So I won't use the pin stitch on this one. I will trail threads. But what I mean by stitching in hand, see how that drapes? This is my finger here. So see how that drapes over my finger? So it makes it easy to stitch in hand. And that's why I love this fabric. So I understand when you're using these, and it does have, let's see the stretchiness to it. When you're stitching on a Q-snap or on a scroll frame and you're using this, I can understand how frustrating that would be because of the stretchiness of the fabric. But as I use it, it works great for stitching in hand. So let me show you the pattern one more time. The other thing with this is that I'm not against using specialty flosses, but I have so much DMC, I like to use what I have as far as the threads go. Everything else I buy, as you see, every video. But this one calls for only Weeks dye work. Only Weeks dye works. And so I'm not crazy about that. It seems like the abundance of color in this that would show the variation is going to be the yellow and the green. And maybe I can get away with just getting a few of the greens and the yellows and leaving the whites, and I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll do there. I see so many of you dyeing fabric, and I know that even Melanie has gifted me with some dyed DMC, so maybe I can variegate or muddy up a white skein of DMC that would work well with this. It's not like I'm going to start it today or next month. Okay, I think that's it as far as my stitching's going. I will say that I've had a great couple of days. I did work yesterday, but I only worked half the day, so I had lunch with my daughter and my husband, and came home yesterday, and my daughter and I played cards for a few hours, and then we came up and I introduced her to one of my movies from high school, which was Steel Magnolias, and it always makes me cry. I don't know how many times in my adult life that I quote some of the sayings in that movie, but I just love movie that gives me feels, and that one's definitely one of them. And you know, just a great group of actors in that movie. I know that Sally Field, which plays the mother in the movie, she also did a movie, I don't know whether it was right before or right after that, was called Places in the Heart, and I think it was set in the 30s, maybe early 40s. I absolutely love that movie too. It touches me in my heart. The color purple, it's from that time era too. If you've not seen The Color Purple, if you don't cry at the ending scene of that movie, something's wrong with you. I love movies like that. If I'm going to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours to watch a movie, I want to feel something. I want to go away with my heart full and my eyes wet. And then today we got up, we went to church, and my oldest daughter is going to come over. She'll be here within an hour. So I came straight home from church and started cooking, and you can see I didn't take my apron off. I'm going to stand up and show you my apron real quick. Showing you my backside. I love to show y'all my backside, but I just want y'all to see the ruffle. I made this apron. That's right. I made this apron. Some friends and I we get together once a month and do some crafting. And this started off with a Christmas apron. We were going to get together for Christmas baking and spend the whole day cooking and baking and getting fat and all the fun stuff. And we had decided to make Christmas aprons, and we weren't going to tell each other what fabric we were using or anything. We were going to use the same pattern, which was this one, and make a Christmas apron. I had so much fun doing it. I didn't bring that one up here with me, but it's Santa's with leopard skin hats on, and then the inner of my apron is also covered with leopard skin print fabric. But each one of us really showed our personalities with the aprons by the fabrics we chose, and that was a lot of fun to reveal it on that day. Anyway, I love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday. I usually cook for at least a day and a half. I'll come home from work on one day. Usually I try to take the day off before Thanksgiving, but I'll cook and prep all that day and cook from like 5 in the morning until time to eat the day of Thanksgiving, and I absolutely love it. But I don't have a Thanksgiving apron. So last year I bought this fabric and ended up not crafting it. I didn't want it to be 100% Christmas because this apron, let me pan down again, is just totally out of my comfort zone. These are not my colors. This red is actually polka dotted. I don't know if you can see or not. It's tiny polka dots. And it's just, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little. And I rarely wear it. I only wore it today because I come right in from church and didn't want to mess up my dress to cook. This is the fabric that I chose for my Thanksgiving one. So I have until Thanksgiving to get this finished. And if I buckle down, I can get it done in 2 days. But this is my inner fabric, and this is my outer. And the red is a true red and not that fuchsia looking red that it seems to pick up in this pattern. But this suits me better, and it actually reminds me of the wallpaper in my mom's kitchen when I was a little girl in the 70s. And I think that's why I was drawn to this fabric. Of course, it wasn't this. It was the mustard yellow and the dark red and the browns and the greens. I think our bathroom was done in this darker. We had a dark green tub and toilet and sink in the bathroom. That color. It's not there now, but I remember it. Anyway. So that will be one of my upcoming projects. So I can't wait to share that with y'all. And I've been asked, thank you for the overwhelming positive comments, support for the tutorial I did on the pin stitch. I am blown away with the response to that tutorial and thankful for it, very thankful for it. So I've been asked in the comments to do, do a couple more on different things, and so in the coming weeks, maybe one this weekend, I will do another quick tutorial, and I will try to be as to explain it well or even better than I did in this last one, because once again, just a disclaimer, I'm no expert stitcher. I'm just showing you how I do it, and if it works for you, that makes me extremely happy. And if it's not your cup of tea, or you have a better way, that's okay too. There's no skin off my back. It's just what it is. It's just a tutorial, so it's there to instruct you how I do it, or to instruct you if you don't know how to do it. But in no means is it you've got to do it this way or you're wrong. It's nothing like that. I'm just going to show how I do it as this long-time cross-stitcher, and I'm self-taught, as many of us are. So I look forward to doing that, so I'll visit with you again probably by the end of the week. I hope everyone has a great week coming up. Stitch all the things, spread kindness, and smile at someone you don't know on the street, just to make their day a little brighter. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.